Hey guys, my name is David SUDOLSKY and I'm CEO and founder of Boldr, and we're a purpose-driven outsourcing company. The advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing really vary. I think it depends on the type of task that you're executing. In my opinion, obviously one that's more mission critical to your business is going to have higher risk. Especially if quality is important. I could imagine there being difficulties in communicating with your teams overseas. There could be difficulties in them understanding the nuances of your business or the industry that you're in, or perhaps the clients or customers that you're working with. However, I think those disadvantages are severely outweighed by the advantages of outsourcing. I think this gives, when you outsource a function, it's allowing the company to refocus their energy and time on what's really important. I think it depends on the company's size and also projection and growth rate. I think if you're just starting out, we've seen this where we're talking to companies and they have a minimum viable product, they're just new to market, and to me it doesn't make sense to outsource. I think that's the time where your company is just being born, and the most important thing for you guys or for you is to speak with your customers, get to know your product better, and do all the dirty work, because then you'll be able to understand what is it that you guys are really trying to focus on, what is it the processes that you're executing, and get to know them really well. I do think that when you start getting economies of scale or you have multiple people executing one function, then it might make sense to consider leveraging an outsourced solution or technology to kind of help allowing you to scale further and further and faster and faster. The most important and mission critical is aligning on the implementation process. How much time do they need in order to transition work overseas? How are you going to measure success? And how often are you communicating around this work? I think those are the three main areas that in the implementation you really need to work on defining with them. Allow them to recommend the process that they feel the most comfortable with. If they're implementing something and they've done it before, they know what's going to happen, they know what might be wrong. So I really think leveraging or asking them for their process and following their process will help. When you're trying to work with an outsourcing partner or you're trying to find the right outsourcing partner, it's, in my opinion, the most critical for you to really identify cultural fit. We've seen what happens when companies that have certain values don't operate or work with a company that has another set of values or thinks differently. This just allows for a much easier implementation and really allows for communication to be seamless, and also performance management around failures and opportunities to improve is just a little bit more easy once we're really aligned on the reason why we're working together. I don't think companies should outsource something that is their bread and butter or is exactly what makes them different or unique. I think they should actually be outsourcing stuff that is secondary. So typically what happens is companies reach out to us. They're drinking from a fire hose, they're super swamped, and when we get on a conversation with them and we start asking them what's going on, it turns out that there's a lot of different processes that they're considering outsourcing. If you're still figuring it out, I think you can explore and talk to different outsourcing companies and ask them to kind of help you figure it out as well. At Boldr, we love doing that. I think we call that a discovery call, and it's really a great part where we get to involve ourselves in the strategy of these companies and really define what it is that they want to outsource and where the most risks would be. Knowing in advance is always going to set you up for success in the future. Thanks, guys. Hope you found today useful. If you didn't, don't worry. We'll be back next week answering some more questions from Quora. If you could do me a favor now, and if you liked what you heard, please feel free to like, share, subscribe. Otherwise, we'll be back next week with more questions and answers. Thanks.